6 minutes starts now.
Suspicious packages, again a concern. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but this time not in Austin, Texas. The FBI is investigating suspicious packages at 4 military installations. 2 contained fuses, including one at Fort McNair.
The building was evacuated while that package was being examined. Investigators say that they detected some black powder residue on that package. An X-ray was also taken on it, and a suspected GPS as well as an expedient fuse was found inside. Now, eventually, everything was clear there, and that was deemed safe.
Kristen Leon with Fox 5 TV at Joint Base Anacostia Bowling in Washington, where they also got a suspicious package. Australia has joined the club of more than a dozen countries, including the U.S., expelling Russian diplomats over the poisoning of an ex-Russian spy using a nerve agent in Britain.
We cannot and will not stand by and watch when the sovereignty of our allies and partners is threatened.
Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. Russia denies being involved in the poisoning and has threatened retaliation. The day after telling her story on TV, claiming to have a sexual encounter with Donald Trump 12 years ago, Stormy Daniels takes legal action. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The adult film actress filed a lawsuit against the president's personal attorney Michael Cohen for defamation. White House spokesman Raj Shah on Monday denied Daniels' claims of an affair more than a decade ago.
The president strongly, clearly, and has consistently denied these underlying claims, and the only person who's been inconsistent is the one making the claims.
The defamation suit, if it's not dismissed, would potentially permit Daniels' attorney to depose Cohen and the president under oath. Cohen paid Daniels $130,000 as part of a non-disclosure agreement that she and her lawyer are trying to invalidate. Dave?
John, California plans to sue the federal government over the 2020 census. The state's attorney general claims it's illegal to include a question about citizenship status. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Let's see here. Fire protection?
Check.
Uniforms, mats, and restroom products?
Check.
First aid cabinets and safety products?
Check.
Great! So it sounds like we're ready to go.
No. When I said check, I meant we still need to check on all those things.
Just call Cintas. They can handle all of it. It's what they do.
Okay. Call Cintas. Check. Got it.
Oh, I'm ready!
Learn how Cintas can help you get ready for the workday. Visit Cintas.com.
Ready for a new tractor? At LS Tractor, we'll be the first to tell you to shop and compare. That's right, shop our competition. We're that confident that the LS Tractor combination of more standard features, better performance, competitive price, and proven commitment to customer satisfaction deliver value that's unequaled by another tractor. Period. Want more tractor for your money? Look around. You'll see there's one that gives it to you. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
A proposal to make hundreds of illegal immigrants eligible for financial aid to attend New Jersey colleges is now one vote from reaching Governor Phil Murphy's desk. It was approved Monday by the Senate. Murphy says he will sign it. We also found this item hidden away in Governor Murphy's budget, more than $2 million taxpayer dollars to provide legal assistance to illegals facing deportation. The funding comes under the heading Ensuring Social Justice. In response to a spike in traffic fatalities, including 2 pedestrian deaths so far this year, police and organizations in Lakewood are launching safety campaigns to reduce the number of tragedies. Stephen Arenthal with the Lakewood Civilian Safety Watch says information cards have been printed in English, Spanish, and Yiddish.
The idea behind it is to go into the main areas, the problem areas, and to just hand out cards to drivers and pedestrians.
The news that Facebook's Android app has been collecting call and text histories, yet another black eye for the social media giant. But just how did it happen? The short answer, because Google let it. I'm Eric Scott. This is the Town Square News Network.
Hey, it's meteorologist Dan Zero. Did you have your house for sale last year and it just didn't sell? Call Robert Dukansky of RE/MAX First Advantage. Nothing can be more stressful than needing to sell your home than just watch it sit for 6 months or more. Henry and Ann went through this with their home in Pine Beach. It sat on the market with another agency for 6 months and nothing. They called Rob because they knew they would have at least one offer on the table. Rob's team listed the home, and after a dozen showings, listings, and less than 45 days on the market, the home was successfully sold. Rob guarantees to sell your home at a price and a deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it. And there's no risk to you because he'll let you out of the contract anytime. Last year, Rob sold over 750 homes, yet when you list with him, you feel like you're his only client. So call Rob Dukansky today at 855-350-1015. That's 855-350-1015 or online at robsellsnj.com. That's robsellsnj.com and start packing. It's going to start to feel like spring over the next several days. Not only a warm-up on the way, but some unsettled wet weather too. Some showers this afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, highs close to 50 degrees for most of New Jersey, cooler mid-40s along the coast. A period of light rain likely for tonight, lows drop to the mid to upper 30s. Scattered showers tomorrow morning, then lots of clouds, highs in the 50s, pushing into the 60s for Thursday. Chance for a rain shower at any time. We'll have one more round of showers and maybe a thunderstorm Friday morning. I'm meteorologist Dan Zero.
From Harry Hurley Way in the world's playground to the broadcast pioneers of Philadelphia Hall of Fame.
I want to congratulate my friend, Harry Hurley.
You're about to find out why Harry Hurley has been named to the Talkers Magazine list of the 100 most important talk show hosts in the nation. Live from the studios of Town Square Media in Northfield, it's Hurley in the Morning on WPG Talk Radio 104.1.
Hey, thanks very much. Welcome back. It is 6 minutes past the hour. Chuck Malamut is here. That's a very good thing. We're in our 27th year together here, hosting his program on Tuesday mornings in the 8 o'clock hour, all about your financial matters. And what an interesting consecutive weeks. We got to talk about the sixth biggest drop in the Dow, point-wise, but certainly not percentage-wise, in like 110 years. Again, it was completely... The reporting was completely, I think, dishonest about it. But yesterday was the biggest point gain in a decade. So what a difference. And half of last week's losses, it really, I think, speaks to what Chuck talks about a lot on his program and to you as valued clients about spending time in the market, not trying to time the market, which I don't think anybody can humanly do anyhow. This program is sponsored, paid for by Chuck Malamut, a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley. The information, views, and opinions expressed are those of Chuck Malamut and do not necessarily reflect those of Morgan Stanley or its affiliates. They are current as of the date of this broadcast and are subject to change without notice. Neither the information provided nor any opinion expressed herein constitutes a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. This presentation is for informational purposes only. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, member SIPC. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Harry.
What a difference a week makes. This is the exact opposite of last Tuesday.
Sometimes what a difference a day makes, what a difference an hour makes. And
True.
And I guess, we chat about this, it seems like just way too many times. But I think what your listeners need to recognize, and the sort of the one takeaway from our discussions is, try not to let fear take over, because you will make very, very poor judgments and decisions with respect to that. And I thought about this last night as we were getting prepared for our show today. Oftentimes we talk about what happens to the market the week, the prior week, and what expectations are, and we talk about a few topics, whether it's coming from Washington, earnings, or whatever it may be, and it seems now, Harry, for the last 3 weeks, what we start our show with is what happened yesterday, what happens Monday, and I can't remember, Harry, over the 27 years we've been doing this together.
27.
This is really the first time that we've seen this, where we're so laser focused on what is happening on a day-to-day basis and not so much what is happening on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. So, to kind of put it in perspective, yesterday, the S&P was up 70 points, 2.7%. And that followed a decline of the prior week we were down 6%, and it was the worst week that we had with U.S. stocks since January 2016. and it was the strongest. I've heard this now. You came with the strongest single day performance, and I've heard multiple days. I've had August 2015, 2016. I think you cited 2008. All right, so I'm not really sure. Maybe they're looking at a per point or looking at percentage basis, but it doesn't really much matter.
Yeah, I'm saying I used the same math they did, point, not percentage, because if they're going to crush you with something on the points, then I'm going to use the same thing a week later when half of the losses come back. And it is without question the biggest one-day point gain since 2008. I don't know what the confusion is, but there shouldn't be any.
Well, confusion aside, the bottom line is that it was an extremely good day. Breadth was strong across all three of the major indices. They were all up 2% or higher. The Dow Jones was up 669 points today. Harry, futures, last I looked, up 125 on the Dow. The NASDAQ yesterday was up 3%. All 11 sectors were in the green. 10 out of the 11 sectors, Harry, were up more than 1%. 95% of the S&P 500 stocks finished higher on the day. Technology, financials, the strongest performing sectors of the day. Interest rate sensitive defensive sectors such as utilities and telecom lagged, though they did end the day higher. And what is happening here? Let's talk about the 10-year Treasury bond for a minute, where all the strategists, all the analysts, all the economists were saying, that 3% number is, you cross over that 3%, sets the market in a danger zone. Well, we have traded now within basically 10 to 12 basis points, 2.78 to 2.9, 2.92, somewhere in that range Harry, seems like for the last several weeks. So in spite of, everything happening within the equity markets, the bond market has sort of taken its cue, and as a result of that, it does offer some stability. And I think what happened yesterday, and I don't think I'm telling anything out of school that hasn't been already mentioned or discussed. The potential trade tensions, the uncertainty in Washington D.C. That basically was sort of put to the side a little bit, as over the weekend there were some discussions that maybe China's going to kind of back off here a little bit, and maybe to agree to some of the terms. And when you look at the imbalance between our imports and exports, it's actually a win for the U.S.
And the markets like that.
Well, they like it. I think. I'm not going to sit here and debate or criticize or try to understand how the president takes action, but he typically, what he does, he comes out, I think, Harry, both guns blazing, and then ultimately, steps it back a little bit and to get to the conclusion that he's looking for. And
well, I think I disagree with that. I don't think he stepped back at all. China blinked.
No, but I'm saying, just if you look, generally speaking, at some things that have happened over his course of presidency, so I think what happened was that if the market kind of understood that, chances are we might not have had the kind of days or the kind of week that we had last week. But remember, Friday, you got into the weekend, a lot of the momentum type investors, a lot of the hedge funds, a lot of institutional investors, at the end of the day on Friday basically kind of gave up and said, look, we don't want to necessarily be as long as we typically are because we're not sure where this weekend is going to go. And then so Friday and Monday, you've had these big moves, obviously Thursday as well, but volume on a comparative basis was not very strong Friday or Monday.
What's this do for the psychology of our markets when there are these enormous? We had for an extended period of time beautiful peace, tranquility, stability, and nothing like this. Now these enormous 700-point swings, up and down, yo-yo. I'm just saying, as a layperson, that can't be good.
Well, interesting question, Harry. Because
as long as you keep getting it back, it's better than if it didn't happen. But I just
well, it depends if you're short, maybe not.
True.
But here's basically what's happened. So if we look at first quarter 2018, the volatility certainly has picked up. We've had 1% or greater moves in the first 12 weeks of the year. 11 were up, 10 were down, versus 8 1% moves, 4 up, 4 down for all of 2017. So if you stopped right there and said, "Oh my goodness, this is just awful, Harry. We have so much volatility, and do we, what do we do, and how do we get this accomplished?" But I think 2017, Harry, was certainly, not what typically happens in the equity markets. While volatile markets certainly feel uncomfortable, depending on what side of the market that you're on, we have seen, more in line what's happened in 2018 versus prior years instead of 2017. 2017's lack of volatility was sort of an outlier. So over the last 2 decades, the average calendar year saw more than 70 1% moves, equating on average to 1% move every 4 trading sessions. So think about that, Harry. Over the last 20 years, 70 trading days per year, we've had 1% movement. So what happened was I think we kind of got lulled to sleep here a little bit in 2017, especially when, if you're long and things are working, you kind of get complacent. And then what happens? You sort of take your eye off the ball, and then, January we had that wonderful month, and then we get into February, and February was not a good month, as you know, and now there's questions as to whether or not what March is going to be. I mean, I saw some news flashes yesterday, the worst March since whatever date it was, and they quickly took that down as the market kept moving higher. And we had the big move up 2.7%. So we still have a few days left in the month. So I think it's kind of hard to guess where we're going to be on a year-to-year basis, March to March to March.
First break, we have a very ambitious program this morning. Chuck does a lot of ground that he will still cover when we come back in our next segments. Trade issues, if there's any more, Fed and interest rates, politics in the markets. So that's the geopolitical stuff. The U.S. debt, manufacturing, student loans, gas tax, and who knows what else. Chuck Malamut continues. For all of your financial planning needs, turn to Chuck Malamut, the Malamut Group at Morgan Stanley's Northfield, New Jersey office, which Chuck leads as its managing director. 609-383-2010. 609-383-2010.
What? Oh, honey. Honey. Jeff, wake up. Roll over.
Your sleep and your relationship are suffering, but they don't have to.
Is your snoring driving your spouse crazy? Do you hate your CPAP? Hi, I'm Dr. Gregory DeFelice, and I have an alternative for you. I have sleep apnea and used to snore like a freight train. I cured it with a comfortable oral appliance without surgery, medication, or CPAP. Come see me and I can help you stop snoring and get rid of your CPAP and regain the energy that you've been missing for so long. In most cases, they're covered by PPO medical insurance, and you only need to see me a couple of times. So what are you waiting for? Schedule a free consultation today.
Find out why people from the bridges to the beaches are coming to see Dr. DeFelice. With offices in Hamilton, Manahawkin, and Cape May Courthouse, he is conveniently located to serve you. Visit HamiltonBraces.com to set up your free consultation and start sleeping better, because you deserve it.
Hello, beautiful. I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. One of the things I value most in life is time. Time to spend with my daughter, time to spend with family, and the time I put into my company that's reinventing the way women color their hair. The busiest, most successful women I know use Madison Reed, the amazing hair color hack. In under an hour and for less than $25, Madison Reed delivers gorgeous, shiny, multi-dimensional, healthy-looking hair with an ammonia-free formula. You'll look like you just came from a salon, but the reality is you have more me time to do what you love. Things get busy. Let us take care of you and your hair. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code HELLO. That's code HELLO. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
At CVS Pharmacy at Target, we put a little extra heart into everything we do, like actively looking to save you money. Generics, 90-day refills, even rewards. Get a $5 Target coupon for every 10 prescriptions. On your next Target run, stop by CVS Pharmacy. We're the place with the big heart. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other restrictions apply. See cvs.com/extracare-target or the pharmacy for details. CVS Pharmacy at Target. Health is everything.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil is just $5.99 a quart. Its advanced formula provides maximum sludge protection, defending your engine like a catcher defends home plate. So tell sludge to go kick rocks and get top-notch engine protection with Mobil 1 full synthetic, just $5.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 3/31/18.
Credit products are made by WebBank. Rates and terms vary based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
How did I get into credit card debt? A trip to the emergency room.
Car repairs.
Moving expenses.
There's a million ways to get into credit card debt, but one sure way to start getting out. Avant. Avant offers access to online unsecured loans from $2,000 to $35,000 at competitive rates and no extra charges for paying back early. Over 500,000 customers have experienced the convenience of a loan through Avant. No wonder Avant has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. The application takes minutes, and if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time Monday through Friday, funds are deposited as soon as the next business day. And now Avant will also give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first payment is made on time. To check your loan options and to get this special radio offer, go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 5656 when applying. That's AVANT.com, promo code 5656. Avant.com, code 5656.
Hi, it's Mark Levin. Join me at 6 this evening. Now back to the Mayor of the Morning, Harry Hurley, on WPG Talk Radio 104.1, South Jersey's talk station.
Welcome back. Chuck Malamut is here for all of your financial planning needs. Turn to Chuck, 609-383-2010. Chuck, your list is ambitious, and let's get right to it. Did you finish? Did we talk about pessimism?
Yeah, no, I think we're good with the market update. So the question is, are investors overly pessimistic about downside risks here in the market? And going into the last weekend, I would say, Harry, that most people that you polled and you would talk to, I mean, fundamentals really haven't changed a lot. Volatility, as we talked about before the break, has picked up, recently, beginning in February. Stocks have been trading in a broad range between early February highs and then the lows that we established in the most recent correction. But if you take a look at the U.S. and if you take a look at the global economies, they still appear to be on very sound footing, Harry. Inflation remains relatively contained. Labor market is strong. Corporate earnings are solid. And I think I mentioned this to you before. You never want to wish time away.
That's right.
But we are so looking forward to April 10, April 15th, because at that point in time, corporate earnings for the first quarter will start to be announced, and I think what will happen is a lot of the focus that we see on a day-to-day basis, everything coming out of Washington, I think that might sort of take a back seat to really what's happening with our economy. Interest rates, as we know, have increased somewhat modestly. So given those views, Harry, and the market behavior, we think it makes sense to focus on why we think some of these risks might be potentially overstated at this point in time. And it's like anything else, you kind of have to maybe sometimes take a deep breath or two, close your eyes, count to 10, and then sort of reassess where you are. Because, if you get fixated to what is happening on a day-to-day basis or an hourly basis, I mean, Harry, I can't tell you in the 30-plus years of doing this how many times we have seen investors just basically shoot themselves in the foot because they get, they let their emotions take over, and then it just makes some really, really poor judgments and some really, really bad decisions.
Can't blame everything on the media, but they deserve a lot of blame. I think the hysterical way that purely for ratings and sensationalism that they've started to cover the market with these. It used to be a little ticker at the bottom, and it would come really fast, and you'd see stock symbols, and you wouldn't even know what the hell you're saying. Then all of a sudden they put an actual graphic and it was small, not obnoxious. And if you were interested, you would look at it. If you weren't, what was on the screen would take your attention more than a little thing. Now they make the thing half the screen and Dow watch and doom and gloom. The media is driving people crazy.
I think the average retail investor, it does bother them because you can't get away from the news. Whether it's some sort of media outlet, whether it's TV, internet, your smartphone, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And
so instant.
News alerts come across. Something's happening within the market.
What's the psychology between in the past where, and there were always exceptions. There were people that would want to stay day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour on top. But most people made their investments, have their great rapport with Chuck Malamut, and it's the long term relationship and planning. But now there's, as you say, because look, my phone's right here. I swoop one button, I go like this, and it's all right there.
There you have it.
2 seconds.
And I think what's even more threatening, I guess, or discouraging to investors or the average retail investor is the fact that a lot of your smartphones are set up for these news alerts.
Yeah.
And, Dow plunges 300 pre-market.
So you get the notice.
So you get the notice, and they roll like 24/7. So you become very, very anxious. And unfortunately, when you become anxious, chances are you're going to make some really, really poor decisions, which ultimately regret. Imagine, Harry, Friday afternoon, you decide to throw the towel in here a little bit, and then you witness the big day that we had yesterday. So, that does happen. And,
sure.
and it happens to a lot of people. So you just have to be very, very, cautious.
And people did bail. I'm not saying you.
Well, they have to. If you think about it, if you have the kind of down days that we had, you had more down volume than up volume, and that pushed prices down. You had all the sellers and no bidders. And as a result of that, you end up with the kind of days that we have had. And chances are, Harry, we're going to continue to have some volatility. It will subside.
And part of this bad news of last week, certainly the trade stuff, tariffs and all that stuff was very unsettling. I thought it was completely overheated, and it appears that is the correct assessment as it plays out, and especially with China now blinking on the second round of tariffs. But the Fed and interest rates were also a part of this whole thing.
They were, but let's talk. You mentioned trade, so let's kind of talk about that for a second. So, the trade issues that we're seeing now, it's more about, I think, Harry, about appearance than the actual policy shifts. President Trump did go out, and the steel and aluminum tariffs went into effect last week. But the key trading regions were granted waivers, including Mexico, Canada, Argentina, Brazil, Australia, South Korea, and the entire Eurozone. So we're thinking that his latest statements, more about trade restrictions, will also still require some policy specifics. So, you kind of throw it out there, and then you kind of reel it back in. So it seems that most of the discussion we've seen around trade has been more political posturing than the actual economic, reality. So, Trump has fired a number of warning shots across the bow of China. It's unclear what the specific follow-throughs are going to be, especially when it comes to disputes with other countries.
But China has signaled that they're willing to negotiate better trade deals with the Trump administration, which really is a win for Trump, a win for America, and China blinking on this trade war.
Well, think about how devastating this could be to China. They have a lot more to lose than we have here to lose in the U.S. In 2016, 23% of China's exports went to the U.S. That's $480 billion. Only 8% of U.S. exports, $115 billion, went to China. So, the Chinese economy is very dependent, more heavily on the U.S. than vice versa. So, what the Chinese just did recently, which helped the market, immeasurably so on yesterday is the fact that they, as you said, they kind of blinked.
Yep.
And they said, okay, we need to get in here and clearly negotiate because our economy is at more at risk than the U.S. But on the flip side, if it doesn't go well, it could end up in some sort of trade war. And that, you don't know where you're going to go with that. It's really unpredictable.
Because each is going to try to outdo the other in terms of the other's tariffs on imports, and then that's not what markets want.
We think that's we've handicapped that with a very, very low probability, but
especially now.
But it's something that we you can't just forget about.
No. Halftime break. We're going to be right back. Much more with Chuck Malamut, the official financial advisor for the Hurley in the Morning program. Make him yours as well. Simply proclaim it. You can reach Chuck and his team, the Malamut Group, at Morgan Stanley's Northfield, New Jersey office, 609-383-2010. Still straight ahead, Fed and interest rates, U.S. politics in the markets, U.S. debt downgrade, manufacturing, student loans, gas tax, a whole lot more in our last segment straight ahead. Back in just a few minutes.
South Jersey's talk station is now only a tap away with the new WPG Talk Radio app. Our free app for your iPhone or Droid easily connects you to New Jersey's largest radio news team for the latest local news and weather information. Listen to and call all of your favorite WPG talk shows and more. Download the WPG Talk Radio app in Google Play or the App Store and stay connected to South Jersey's talk station, WPG Talk Radio 104.1.
Are you behind on your federal student loan payments? You may qualify to have your entire student loan forgiven with one free call. That's right. If you're a teacher, police officer, firefighter, or work for a nonprofit, federal programs are still available to have your entire student loan forgiven. Premier Servicing Solutions wants to give you free information on all the programs that can help. The sooner you call, the faster you can get relief. Get the maximum loan forgiveness, loan reduction, or consolidation available. Plus, find out in the first free call what you qualify for. A loan forgiveness specialist is standing by to answer all of your questions for free. Stop worrying about student loan payments. Premier Servicing is A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. This free information could change your life. Call 800-281-9912. 800-281-9912. Wipe out your federal student loan debt. Find out how. Call 800-281-9912. The sooner you call, the faster you can get relief. 800-281-9912.
Darren College, a former NFL Super Bowl champion, signed the most important contract of his life to serve in the Army National Guard.
I've had a lot of military in my family. It's a big part of what my family's done for a long time. I want to go out there and make a difference. I didn't find that working behind a desk, so for me it was a pretty easy decision to make. And then the opportunity to serve my community and serve my country was just icing on the cake.
To learn how to be part of the Army National Guard, log on to nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the New Jersey Army National Guard. Aired by the New Jersey Broadcasters Association and this station.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-992-9470. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-992-9470. That's 800-992-9470.
If you ever want to buy a house or a car, you're going to want to know your credit score. If there's a mistake on your credit reports, you could pay more in interest rates and fees than you have to. Where can you go online to quickly get your credit score and credit report for free? creditkarma.com/radio. Check it whenever you like. It's free and there's no catch. Don't get an unwanted surprise about your credit score. Go to creditkarma.com/radio. That's creditkarma.com/radio.
Hey, wake up with Harry Hurley and drive home with me, Sean Hannity, 3 to 6. It's all happening here on WPG Talk Radio 104.1.
34 minutes past the hour. Chuck Malamut continues. Chuck, the list is long. Take it away.
So, Harry, I think the next thing we're going to talk about as we know, the Fed came in and, as widely expected, they increased rates last week and pointed obviously to an economy that's strong. The Fed, although they might increase rates slightly faster than earlier anticipated. I'm seeing you smile.
Well, I'm sorry because they said they are.
I know.
I like the way you say they might. They said they are.
Interest rates still remain historically low and remain well below that neutral level given economic growth and inflation trends. So we don't think that rates are going to rise sharply. We do know they're going to increase or increase enough dramatically to derail the market. From a technician's point of view, if you look at the market itself, you sort of had that double bottom that the W is referred to. If you're a technician, we made that low in February. We got very, very close to remaking it again last week.
Do you think with the markets dropping 3% at a clip up and down, that there's a level of volatility right now that they should just put the brakes on a little bit with some of their language?
Just remember that the Fed, allegedly doesn't pay attention to the markets. And they sort of operate, not that they operate in a vacuum, but...
Well, what do they pay attention to?
They look at
for like a decade when they didn't raise rates at all.
They look at economic data. They look at reports that come through. Now, were they a little slow in sort of hitting the gas pedal and starting to increase rates? Yes.
Yes.
And I know where you're going to take me with this, so we're not going to go there today because we're going to talk about the fact that they're going to increase rates, but the question is how hawkish were they with the statement that they made, and on a go-forward basis, is it how many increases are we going to talk about? Is another 2 this year? Is it 3 this year? And Harry, you don't know that until you get that data in front of you. So, and I think a lot of this obviously is dependent on what happens, in Q1.
Do you know the last time they meet before November 1st? Typically,
no. I'm gonna say they probably meet June and then again in September.
Right,
be my guess.
I always remember the September one, and I'll tell you why. Because they can now. This is going to be a miracle if I'm right about this again, but they're always very predictable right before big elections.
Well, I think, Harry, they've been pretty predictable so far. I mean, if Chairman Powell, I think his first comments, he learned a very good lesson, and the markets, basically punished him as a result. And this time, I think he's getting better in his news conferences after the announcement, and I think that, the markets are very, very dependent on what he says and how he says it.
I thought he would have known that.
Well, it's like anything else, Harry. I guess over time, you learn. There's no doubt about it. So, if you look at what's going on here with all the uncertainty with respect to the market, to Washington, all the political uncertainty. I mean, the constant changes, the ongoing Mueller investigation, the revolving door at the White House. It seems that...
Here's a geopolitical item for you, Chuck. There's only one member of Congress saying it, but he didn't say it for no reason. That doesn't mean he's the oracle and that it's absolutely true, but this Congressman Amodai floated from Carson City, Nevada, floated yesterday that the Speaker of the House... The reason I bring this up, because I know we're going to talk U.S. politics and the markets... You talk about a geopolitical type of a deal, the third in line to the presidency, and somebody's floating that he may resign within the next 30 to 60 days. That's a big deal.
Well, it's a really big deal. And, Harry, I think what's happening here with all the changes that you've had, with the White House, it seems that the president is now surrounding himself with people that offer that are going to support him, who might not provide the unbiased advice. So that could work for you, that could work against you. So while those events add to the political uncertainty, we really don't think it affects market fundamentals, because the market, again, April 10, April 15, we expect any downside reaction should be somewhat limited, relatively limited, as these changes continue to occur.
I thought it was interesting, and I don't do this to make your program salacious or anything, but I didn't expect, nor did it occur, and in fact just the opposite occurred. It was the most incredible point gain in a decade, but that very graphic, embarrassing to say the least, interview with a pornography actress alleging an affair with the President of the United States I don't think it moved 8 decimal points from positive to the left. I mean, it just didn't move anything.
Well, going into the weekend, there was a lot of thoughts and discussions around that interview and what potentially could happen to the markets. And I think, the results are the results which you basically identified and heard by many, many millions of people. Didn't move the market negatively at all. There's no doubt about it. So, but. And again, but it's like anything else, Harry, it's just something else that we're focusing on that really has nothing to do with what happens in corporate America on a day-to-day basis.
Right. But that if markets would interpret that his presidency was on the brink or at risk, it was just something that markets didn't even yawn at. They didn't even pay attention to it.
They didn't pay. Not only did they not pay attention to it, they look at the results of Monday. I mean, it just your pre-market, you're up 200, I think, 150, and then as the day went on, the market, you moved back and forth a little bit, and then it's sort of the tail end of the day. You just had this. Again, everybody moved to the same side of the boat together,
yep.
And then you were up 669 points, I believe, in the Dow.
When do you think markets? This sort of takes us to your next topic, Chuck. When do you think markets would be impacted negatively by our incredible debt? It's just absolutely unsustainable.
But this is amazing, Harry. Our debt was downgraded in August 2011. It was 6.5 years ago. It seems like it was just yesterday. It was a long time ago. So from the time that happened, the yield on the 10-year Treasury note increased from 2.57% to 2.85%. Nothing, right?
Yeah.
The S&P gained a total of 164% on a total return basis, which equates to just shy of 16% per year. So think about, the debt. I mean, there was such a discussion as it came out, and they said, "Oh my goodness, like our debt's being downgraded. Who's going to buy our debt, and how are we going to sell it?" And look at the results. Now, granted, yes, I mean, you can never run your household or your business the way the United States of America is run.
But there's just such a belief that the United States never has and never will default on our debt. So it really, I guess it's intoxicating, it's persuasive, and you don't worry about the downside because the first time would be the first time. It just is never.
I guess there's never a first time until there's a first time, right?
Yes. But people are confidently, going forward as though America will always meet its obligations, and it's obviously very important for our credibility that we do.
Yeah. So as a result of that, you remember, who's the number one debt owner of our, of U.S. debt? It's the Chinese. So, that's why this is so incredibly important that, whatever discussions there are with trade, get resolved, and both sides are satisfied as a result.
Do you ever see a time where the world, and some would say it's happening now, but I would push back in that respect, difference between politics and economics, where if everybody ganged up on us at the same time,
well, we
could be in a world of hurt.
Well, it's like anything else. I mean, if it's like, if anybody gangs up on anybody at the same time, it could be.
I mean, if you picked one bank and if every single person that had money in that bank wanted everything that they have on the same day, we got a problem.
That could
Houston.
That could be. Well, the money's there.
Money's there.
It's just a matter of getting it all to.
But the lending. The lending formulas of how you can lend by a certain amount.
But speaking of the trade imbalances and the fact that this number is pretty scary, and I think I'm not going to surprise anybody when I throw this out there. But in 2018, as of the end of February, there were 12.6 million manufacturing jobs in the U.S. There were 13.1 million manufacturing jobs in 1942, 76 years ago. So you think about what's happened, the growth of our economy over the last 75 years, and the fact that the number of manufacturing jobs has actually decreased by 500,000 over that point in time. That's, Harry, that's scary. And the fact that we're trying to do more with less, and we're trying to do more within our country, I think that's the encouraging sign. That's something we have to continue to focus on.
Chuck, I know we're already on overtime, but in terms of manufacturing, do you see America getting back to where we start to make things
we
again?
are. We are. And I think that's what a lot of this rhetoric and discussion is about. The fact that, we need to be more self-sufficient. We need to look about energy. We are now exporting energy. We've always talked about that. Now it's actually happening. So, I think it's very important that we have to continue on that track, because we don't want to be dependent on anyone if we don't have to be.
Give us your best few minutes on student loans.
Well, look, we talked about student loans. We talk about it a lot. So I found this to be unfortunate, what I'm going to report to you right now. 28% of student loan borrowers, and this is by number, not by dollars, have defaulted on their student loans. And we kind of talked about this in, I don't know how many times, talk about the economy and the three-legged stool and what could potentially go bad, and I think we kind of talked about increasing college tuition, and these institutions can just get away with it because they can, because money is so readily available for students.
You get whatever it takes.
But the problem is on the back end, as you're seeing it now,
you can't afford to pay
it impacts your credit rating, and ultimately as a result of that, it's really tough. As a young person, to be able to get on your feet and buy your home and build a family.
Do you see a federal bailout ever?
There's been discussion, and actually in the most recent signing last week, when they have our government can operate. There is
omnibus.
There is there's $300 million, which is nothing being committed, but. To retire the debt. But you think about $300 million.
But that's if you're a nurse or a public employee, and maybe
there's
you've made a certain number of payments, and if the cat had kittens.
Yeah, it's really hard to get through it. So you have to kind of just throw that out as it being non-existent. But the fact that you have this student debt, and I think, Harry, if you look at the average retiree today, only 38% of those folks that retire debt-free. 62% of the American retirees right now have some sort of either mortgage debt, credit card debt, auto loan debt, or student loan debt. So that's another thing we have to be very, very careful of as you get to retirement. And that's one of the things that we spend a lot of time, when we look at the balance sheet of a client or prospective client.
If you're a Parent Plus loan borrower, and you've done that for 1 or 2 or 3 children, there is it's not a hypothetical, it's every realistic, situation that you will have monthly school payments for the rest of your life.
And
then it dies unless you didn't do a good job getting your money. It dies with you.
And
then it's not even repaid.
I don't remember the statistic, but we talked about this a few weeks back. What percentage of jobs actually require a college diploma? And it was maybe, again, I'm throwing a number out there, so please don't quote me. I want to say it was in the low 30%, something like that. So. We have talked about this, about college tuition and how unfair it is.
Yeah.
But the fact is, what are your choices?
I think what happened, and see if you agree with this, Chuck, and this is still financial, but it's 2 dads talking that have paid college for multiple children. It became, and I don't want to impugn wonderful institutions of learning, but it became a racket where you pay what they say. Even sometimes you have to pay for a full load of credits if you just needed one course. That ought to be disallowed. That should be stopped. There should not be anything that can ever exist like that ever again. It's not fair. Then, of course, they made it. The game was rigged, so you have to go 5 years. You can't get done in 4 what you used to be able to, so now you got to go 5. Even if you only need a couple courses, you're paying a ton to get your degree. And then this perception that ultimately became reality, but it really never was that a BS or a BA was not enough. So then you had to go get more and more and more. And then at the end of the day, what we're going to have, Chuck, and I don't know if you're going to agree or disagree with this, because you know I was here saying it back then, however long ago it was, 20 years ago, whenever it was, we're going to have a bubble that's going to burst, and that will be a very sad day.
You know, I think, Harry, you know, you're right. And at some point in time, if the economy shifts and we end up in a downturn like we had in 2008, 2007, 2008, with the Great Recession, and those monthly college bills or those loans cannot be paid, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that.
Well, think about it, Chuck. How many
that's going to be a problem.
If you had to borrow it to begin with, then that meant you didn't have it. And if you put 3 children through college, you're looking at probably $2,500 a month for the rest of your life. That's like another mortgage, and then some, maybe, depending on, you know, the individual scenario. And there's just a lot of people that are going to, just like they threw keys and left houses, and we went through the toughest foreclosure, you know, in the country. It's going to happen.
I think it's a little disingenuous on these universities when they, again, instead of being a 4-year degree, it's 5 or 6. And the fact that, you know, in the front end of your college years, you know, your freshman, sophomore years, you're required to take these general studies, which ultimately really, I guess it makes you a better, well-rounded student, but in reality, really might not have a lot to do with your major. So you're kind of out there just, I don't want to use the words wasting time, but you're wasting resources.
Yeah, how about colleges, and you tell me this is not a racket, Chuck. This is a real scenario. I could prove it. But how about if you had wonderful performance on an elaborate course at, let's just say hypothetically, because I don't want to give the exact scenario, with Rutgers University, and you decide you want to transfer and you come to another school, wherever it might be, it's the same exact course. They won't take the credits.
You're right.
They not only rip you off and make you pay again, they steal time from your life and make you do the same thing over again. And you got an A. It's a disgrace. Look, I could understand if you got a D. I think moving credits used to be you needed to have at least a C or maybe even a B, something, you know, proficient. If you got a D, I could see them saying, we're not going to move those because you weren't really proficient. Do it again. But this is also part of the racket. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it really is.
It really is. And I mean, the good news is, if there's some good news out of this right now, Harry, is the fact that because the economy is so much better than it was, you know, a decade ago, the students that are graduating now have multiple opportunities.
Yeah.
And those opportunities are higher wage pay than they were certainly a decade ago.
And they need
putting inflation
because
aside,
in 1 year from the day of their first day of work, they're going to have the bill is going to come due, their new monthly payment.
And don't forget, at age 26, they come off the parents' benefits, and they're on their own. And it's I think it's a little scary for a lot of these students.
I have a hard break. I've got to get in, and I appreciate your overtime, Chuck. Give us 30 seconds on the gas tax.
So, Harry, if you take a look at what is happening, with the gas tax, and just give me 1 second here because I want to make sure I give this to you absolutely correct.
That's how you work.
Right now, 18.4 cents a gallon is the federal tax that's used to pay for roads, bridges, mass transit projects in the U.S. The last time, when do you think the last time the gas tax federally was increased?
Ooh, this is a good one. I feel like I should know this. Let's see. I'm going to say...
I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint.
It's a while ago, right?
It's a long time ago.
I'm going to say Jimmy Carter.
25 years ago was the last time the gas tax was last raised.
So then the president would have been Reagan?
1993.
So it would have been President Clinton.
Mm-hmm. I think it was, yeah. So you think about that, because again, it was another discussion that talking about, oh my goodness, like what are we doing here? But look, the infrastructure is in really, really bad shape. I mean, all of us can. I mean, you talk about, I know
Let's
you
just hope they dedicate it towards that.
You have a relatively new advertiser.
Yeah.
You talk.
I'm going to be talking about it in a second.
You guys talk about potholes, and I get attracted to those potholes, Harry. It's been a really tough winter for me driving out of town. We'll just leave it at that.
I will be opening the 9 o'clock hour with a word about A&S construction, paving the way to the future of Atlantic City, Atlantic County, and beyond. Chuck, all-star performance as usual. Look forward to next time.
Harry, looking forward.
Me
Have
too.
a good weekend.
You too,
Happy
buddy.
holidays.
Same to you, pal. 609-383-2010. Chuck Malamut for all of your financial planning needs.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff is brought to you by Integrity Physical Therapy and Wellness and Dr. Stuart Honig of Go Feet Podiatry.
Some of the germiest items we touch are right in our own homes. For instance, that hand towel next to your bathroom sink. If you're not washing your hands thoroughly, you're rubbing bacteria onto a moist towel, an ideal condition for bacteria to grow. Those towels should be washed every few days. Another reservoir of germs are toothbrush holder, which people almost never clean. One report found 27% of toothbrush holders were home to coliform bacteria, microorganisms that include Salmonella and E. coli. And don't forget that kitchen sink sponge. It's one of the grossest items in our house. It can carry hundreds of millions of bacteria. Get rid of it and pick a kitchen cleaning tool that you can throw into the dishwasher to disinfect it like a cleaning brush. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff is brought to you by Integrity Physical Therapy. Put yourself in their hands and Go Feet Podiatry. Your feet will thank you.
Spring has finally arrived. Are you looking forward to that special cigar while you play golf, mow the lawn, or just relax after that backyard barbecue? Then you need to get on over to Smokers Haven. With the largest selection and all the top brands like Ashton, My Father's, and Monte Cristo, Smokers Haven is where you go for premium cigars hand-rolled by the best cigar makers from all over the world. Smokers Haven has all the cutters, lighters, and carrying cases to enhance your smoking experience. Check out smokershavennj.com for locations, hours, and upcoming special events.
Mom, Dad, come see what the Easter Bunny brought me. It's a huge basket with my name on it, and it's full of my favorite candy. It has chocolates, jelly beans, Peeps, a chocolate bunny, and a stuffed bunny. Come see!
Surprise your little ones with personalized Easter baskets from Personal Creations. Choose a colorful basket that matches your child's unique personality. Every basket is filled to the brim with free candy, a chocolate bunny, jelly beans, Peeps, and a free stuffed bunny. All for just $19.99. Plus, you can have it personalized with any name for free. Go to personalcreations.com today. Click the star in the top right corner and enter code 200 to claim this offer. If you order today, you'll get 20% off everything else, too.
This Easter basket is the best ever. Yum!
To get this special Easter deal, go to personalcreations.com. Click the orange star in the upper right corner and enter secret code 200. Personalcreations.com, code 200. Personalcreations.com, code 200.
Has your current sales job got you caught in a rut? Are you not making the money you know you're worth? It's time to tune into a new career. Town Square Media Atlantic City is adding full-time advertising executives to sell our full range of products. We're more than a radio company. We're the online advertising experts in South Jersey. Don't miss out on one of the fastest-growing careers. Call Mike Rubel, Market President, at 609-645-9797 to schedule your interview. Town Square Media is an equal opportunity employer.
If you ever want to buy a house or a car, you're going to want to know your credit score. If there's a mistake on your credit reports, you could pay more in interest rates and fees than you have to. Where can you go online to quickly get your credit score and credit report for free? creditkarma.com/radio. Check it whenever you like. It's free and...
We are back. Wide Open Forum begins in just a few minutes. A lot to share with you when we come back. I didn't get a chance this hour to recast the breaking news out of Atlantic City, so I'm going to share that. Maybe you have some reaction to what's happening if you heard our breaking news story. You want to get a head start before I come back, go to WPGTalkRadio.com right now. If you're on Facebook, you go to my Facebook page, and I put a link right there to the story that's at WPGTalkRadio.com. We're going to be back right after Fox News, and an hour and 6 minutes from now, the Brian Kilmeade Show. And a reminder, Brian will be our special guest this Thursday and next Thursday. I'm going to see if Chuck Malamut, he's awake at that time anyhow, 5:15 a.m. Kilmeade and Hurley in the morning, bonus time. 2 Thursdays in a row at 5:15.
WPGG Atlantic City, WENJ 97.3 HD3 Millville. Everything you need to know in 6 minutes starts now.
A question leads to a lawsuit. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News. That question will be on the 2020 census, unless California is successful blocking it in court. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The census regularly asked about citizenship until 1950 when the question was removed. But the Commerce Department wants to reinstate the question on the 2020 census, saying that the data could help identify potential voting rights violations by providing